This video is going to be a bit of a rant in which I discuss the challenges I am facing in the midst of a self-employment / entrepreneurial lifestyle journey. And before I get started, I want to be absolutely clear that this is not meant to come across as complaining, and this is not meant to come across as being ungrateful, because I am extremely grateful for all the puzzle pieces that have fit together for me to arrive at where I am today. What it is meant as is for me to express the challenges and to be honest about those challenges that I'm facing in the midst of this journey. Now, I came from working a 9-to-5 job, and that had its own stress, and I wouldn't want to go back to that. And changing that for a self-employed lifestyle has a different set of stress and challenges. Things like, how am I going to pay the bills? Where's my next client coming from? Am I going to have enough money? Things like that. And those are very real concerns. And I think, for me, one of the greatest obstacles I face is fear. It's interesting, when I get to know someone, sometimes the question I like to ask is, tell me something you love, tell me something you hate, tell me something you fear. And it can be as silly or as serious as you want it to be. I might say, oh, I'm afraid of the dark, or I'm afraid of spiders or something. Or it could be more existential. So the last time I asked someone that, and then they turned around the question to me and said, okay, Catherine, what are you afraid of? What I said was, I'm afraid of myself. And when I say I'm afraid of myself, I don't mean that I'm not afraid of failure. There's an element of fear to that, but I tell people this whole massage therapy thing that I'm trying, it could fall flat on its face. And if it does, I'll just do something else. Now, I'd be sad, considering the amount I've invested in pursuing massage therapy, but failure is a part of life. And yes, there is an element of fear of failure, but I don't think that's the core issue of when I say I fear myself. And I don't mean that I fear, or that I have a fear resulting from perfectionism of, oh, I have to be good enough or just right or whatever. And I do have elements of perfectionism in my personality. And so that could be part of the fear that I face. But again, that doesn't feel like the core issue. When I say I fear myself, what I really mean is I fear self-sabotage. And being newer to running my own business, I don't know if this is discussed in business communities as much, maybe it is, but I tend to hear it more in the context of talking about recovery from addiction or trauma. The idea that I might be working on my own growth or progress and maybe have even reached a level of stability or stasis, and then something happens externally, be it big or small, that triggers an internal crisis in my brain. And because of that, in reaction to that, I make an impulsive decision that completely unravels all the work that I've put in thus far. When I say I'm afraid of myself, I'm afraid of destroying my own progress. There's an idea or a saying, and I'm not sure where it originated from, and it's the idea that people aren't afraid of their own darkness. They're afraid of their own light. And fear of success is a very real thing, where if I'm so used to scraping by and fighting for survival, then the idea of reaching a level of stability or safety or stasis, I wouldn't know what to do with that. But my fear is that I would become so overwhelmed and stressed that in a moment of weakness, before I even get to that point of success, I would feel crushed by the weight of just the work, and I would sabotage myself. I believe that human beings are incredibly powerful, probably even more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. I believe that I have the power to bring about great good or great evil, if for no one else, at least for myself. And so I have that fear, that fear of sabotaging myself, of in a moment of weakness that I would bring about evil. That's a scary thing. To fear that in a moment of weakness I would throw away all the goodness I have been pursuing. All the work that I've done to get to this point. See, pursuing an entrepreneurial, self-employed journey strips away the illusions of safety nets that a 9-to-5 job can sometimes provide. And it forces me to come to terms with myself. Not that I wasn't doing my own internal work before, but the context of shifting my lifestyle is kind of like peeling back a layer of onion and going a little bit deeper into my growth journey. Which is why every day I have to commit to showing up for myself. And I have to look in the mirror and say, thank you, anxiety, for attempting to keep me safe. Thank you, chronic muscle tension, for working so hard to take care of my body all those years when I wasn't able to care for it the way I should have. Thank you, ego, for working hard to try to defend myself when I felt defenseless. There's a better way now, and I've got this, because I'm going to pursue health, and I'm going to pursue growth, and I'm going to continue to show up for myself. Because I don't want to go through life just surviving. I don't want to barely scrape by to make it. I want to thrive. I want to fully embrace my power to bring about good, because I believe that's what I was created for. Regardless if business fails, I could go broke. But the important thing is that I continue showing up to do the work, because no one else can do that for me. I have to do that for myself. And if I continue to do that, if I continue to learn, and if I continue to grow, then I will not have failed. Thank you for watching.